Israel launched a massive and meticulously planned airstrike on Iran early Friday, targeting key elements of the country's nuclear infrastructure and military leadership. The operation, which involved over 200 fighter jets, marked the most significant escalation in the long running shadow war between the two nations and has raised alarm over the possibility of a broader regional conflict. The strike was aimed primarily at Iran's nuclear program, particularly the major enrichment site at Natanz, but also extended to long range missile bases and air defense systems. Among the most consequential outcomes was the killing of three of Iran's most senior military commanders. Iranian state media confirmed the deaths of General Hossein Salami, commander of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, Major General Mohammad Bagheri, Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces, and General Ghulam Ali Rashid, Deputy Commander of the Khatam al Anbiya Central Command. These figures were central to Iran's military decision making and coordination with regional proxy groups like Hezbollah. Two prominent nuclear scientists, Mohammad Mehdi Tehranchi and Ferdoun Abbasi, were also killed in separate targeted attacks in Tehran. Abbasi, a former head of the Atomic Energy Organization of Iran, had previously survived an assassination attempt. Tehranchi was known for his involvement in advanced nuclear research. In addition, Ali Shamkhani, a key nuclear negotiator and advisor to Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, was reported to be seriously injured. Khamenei warned that Israel would face harsh punishment, and by late morning, Iran responded by launching nearly 100 drones at Israel, according to Israeli military officials. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed that the conflict would continue for as many days as it takes. What made the attack particularly striking was the sheer audacity and the elaborate deception Israel employed in the lead up. According to a senior Israeli source cited by the Jerusalem Post, Netanyahu's office orchestrated a misinformation campaign to lower Iran's guard. This included briefing journalists that the Prime Minister was planning a family holiday and would attend his son's wedding, giving the impression that no major military decision was imminent. It was also claimed that key Israeli officials would fly to Washington for nuclear talks that actually did not exist. Fabricated media leaks were allowed to circulate, including growing tensions between Netanyahu and President Donald Trump. All of this created a smokescreen concealing preparations for the pre-dawn strike. The United States, meanwhile, publicly distanced itself from the attack. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said that the US had played no role in the strikes and warned Iran not to retaliate against American personnel or facilities. In his statement, he stressed that Israel had acted unilaterally and the US was focused on protecting its forces in the region. Notably, he offered no explicit support for the Israeli operation. President Trump, who had earlier urged Netanyahu to delay any military action until diplomacy had run its course, told Fox News that he had been informed of the Israeli plans and remained hopeful that negotiations with Iran could resume. His Middle East envoy, Steve Witkoff, is still ready to attend talks in Oman this Sunday, although Tehran has now declined to participate. In anticipation of a possible escalation, the United States has authorized the voluntary departure of diplomatic and military families from parts of the Middle East and pulled out some of its diplomats from Iraq. Meanwhile, oil markets responded sharply to the strikes, with Brent crude prices surging by 9% to $78 per barrel. The question now facing Washington is whether it will back Israel if Iran retaliates further. Rubio avoided commenting directly on this, reiterating that the administration's current priority is safeguarding American lives and infrastructure. Within American political circles, pressure is mounting on the Trump administration to avoid deeper military entanglement in the region.